In the heart of downtown Fort Wayne, you'll find one of the crown jewels in our community, the Allen County Courthouse. This facility was constructed in 1902 and is on the National Register of Historic Places. Its beauty has been kept through the years thanks to the efforts of a group called the Allen County Courthouse Historic Preservation Trust. It was formed in 1994 to work to keep the beautiful luster of this building. And joining me right now is Robin Zimmerman, who is the Executive Director of the Preservation Trust. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you. Thanks.
Tell us a little bit about the trust and how it got formed.
Actually, there were a group of attorneys and also a group of local preservationists who were volunteers for ARCH, which is a historic preservation organization. They put the courthouse on their eyesight for a building that they wanted to maintain. There had been a lot of discussion of tearing the building down. So those group of community volunteers, along with the attorneys who practiced here daily, set out to preserve the building and make sure that it would never be torn down.
And you had, as I said, you started in 1994, and your work didn't really culminate, we won't say, but in 2002 you were able to do a great bulk of your work and have it ready for the anniversary of this building.
That's right. In 2002, the building celebrated its 100th anniversary. We had completed most of the preservation, and it took us 7 years to do that. We started in 1995, completed in 2002, and since that time have been able to give tours to thousands of residents as well as visitors annually.
Well, maybe you can take us on a little tour of the facilities here. How's that sound?
Great. I'd love to do that.
Okay, let's go take a look at what's in the courthouse. We've moved to the third floor of the courthouse, and Robin, you were telling us about some of the murals that are on the walls and the ceiling here, and the kind of work that went into restoring those.
Mike, I wanted to bring you up here to show you the Charles Holloway murals. They're really the reason that the preservation efforts began. The mural that you'll see over here, War, had a huge crack in it from previous water damage. There was concern that the mural would fall into the rotunda. Each of them weighs 800 pounds. And so the Preservation Trust Committee took a look at these murals, brought in curators from the Smithsonian who said, yes, indeed, we should restore these murals, that they carry great value to our American history, and that it was wonderful our forefathers placed them in the building, and that he would hope that our current community would maintain them.
That was not an easy process either, restoring the murals. It took quite a bit of time.
Well, actually, since the courthouse had had other previous restoration attempts, some of the murals had been grossly overpainted with house paint, and actually urethane was added to them to help to maintain the color. Because the rotunda is flooded with sunlight, or had been flooded with sunlight, they were fading, and so the urethane was placed on there to prevent that. Unfortunately, all that needed to be removed. So when we brought in the restorers, they could remove one 8-foot section, the size of a newspaper, of that urethane daily. They would actually use a cotton swab to do that. So these are the reasons that the preservation attempts began.
Oh, some painstaking work there. And the other thing I think people will notice is the beautiful ceiling in the rotunda here. Tell us a little about that.
When the courthouse was built, we actually put stained glass not only in our rotunda like the Indiana State House, but also in all 4 grand courtrooms and in the judicial corridor. This is just kind of to let the community know how successful we were doing economically. Also, the stained glass here has facets or jewels in it, which is an indicator of a finer grade of stained glass.
We've moved into courtroom 1 on the 3rd floor of the courthouse. And Robin, one of the first things you really notice when you come in here are the light fixtures. And you say there's quite a story behind those.
Well, during the restoration, we were able to unveil a lot of treasures that were in here. And when MSKTD, the architect, came in, looked at the building, he actually found the company who provided the original chandeliers. Because again, due to previous restoration attempts, modern lighting had been placed in all of the 4 grand courtrooms. So when he found the company, he contacted them. They had the original molds. So the chandeliers that are in Superior Court 1 are actually exact replications of what had been in here in 1902.
Any idea how much that cost or how difficult that was to go through?
Well, I'm sure I have the books on how much it cost.